guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Rose. I make beauty and lifestyle videos. Fragrance has totally taken over my life. It is competing for my #1 love. It's makeup and fragrance for me. I love to collect fragrances. Fragrance has really just taken over the beauty community. A lot of us are just interested in fragrance. So today we're going over my entire collection, which I have been building. And I get this question a lot, like, how do you get through your perfumes? The rule that I set for myself is I can't add a perfume unless I take one out. I learned the hard way filming these kinds of videos that my nose definitely takes a beating when I'm going over all of these perfumes. Typically when I film these videos, I just sit down with some notes, I spray the perfume on my wrist or in the air, and I just keep going. But this time I have perfume tester sample strips. So I'm gonna try to be concise with my description. If you're looking for like exact notes, this is not the video for you. I'm not gonna be going over like top notes, middle notes, base notes. I'm going to describe the fragrance to you as I see fit. If it reminds me of something, that's what I'm gonna describe it as, and I think you guys really enjoy that because it's just more realistic. So that I don't get confused or overwhelmed, I have some coffee beans. My last two disclaimers, I know we just wanna get to the video. I'm filming with natural lighting, so if the lighting changes throughout the video, it's because the sun might set. I'm trying to beat the sun, but the sun sets really fast here, so we're starting off with this really beautiful natural lighting, and if it gets a little bit different, I'm sorry in advance. And my last disclaimer is that if I mispronounce any of these names, forgive me, I'm sorry. I love fragrance, I'm a fragrance enthusiast, but some of these names I might butcher, and I'm sorry. There's always 1 or 2 comments coming for me on pronunciation of a fragrance. Usually it's French. I only speak English and Spanish. I'll try to pronounce the names as best as I can, but let's just put it out there that I might butcher a few of these. But of course I got you. The description bar is already filled out. Everything is linked. All the names are there. I'm gonna start the video off with my top 5 favorites, like the perfumes that I reach for the most, and then I'm just going to dive into the collection left to right. I have them color coordinated, so you might notice a little bit of a pattern. So the first 5 are the ones that I pretty much gravitate towards the most. These I feel like I get the most compliments on. They're special to me, and I'll tell you why. I honestly feel guilty starting with a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like I'm cheating on my fragrances, but coming in at number 1 is Louis Vuitton Heures d'Absence. You see, I knew I was gonna butcher it. Heures d'Absence. This was one of those love at first sight fragrances for me. I went into Louis Vuitton. I didn't know what any of their fragrances smelled like, and I fell in love with this, and I had to have it. I kept thinking about it, and I went back the next day to purchase it. This one deserves to be sprayed on because it's my number 1 favorite right now. This feels like me. Like, this is what I want to smell like. This is Rosita in a bottle. It's fresh and feminine, and those 2 descriptions are my favorites. Don't get me wrong, I love me a spicy or a musky scent. You know, there's a time and place for that, but this baby can just be worn at any time, and I love that. I love a fragrance that I can just throw on without having to think about it too much. I could throw this on in the daytime, for date night, to bed. It makes me feel luxurious. It makes me feel fresh and clean and feminine. This is one of those perfumes that instantly brightens my mood and makes me feel so happy and just so me. I didn't know what a perfume that smelled like me would smell like until I smelled this. I would just say it's a fresh floral that brightens your mood and just makes you feel like you are on top of your A game. You have everything figured out. So that's why she's number 1. Louis Vuitton Heures d'Absence, the purple one. I do like a few other Louis Vuitton fragrances. I actually reviewed a ton of them on my Instagram, so if you go to my perfume highlights, the descriptions are there, but that is my number 1 favorite from Louis Vuitton. It is so good. Call me basic, but number 2 we have Maison France's Kurkdjian Baccarat Rouge 540. I mean, if you know, you know. The girls that get it, get it. Gorgeous girls wear Baccarat Rouge. I've been talking about this fragrance for so many years on my channel. If you know, you know. I know it's blown up. Everyone pretty much knows about Baccarat. I mean, men, women, everyone raves about this fragrance. It's honestly taken over social media, and I called myself basic because a lot of people, when they see someone talking about this fragrance, they're like, I don't want to wear that anymore because everyone smells like it. For me, that's not the case. I like to mix my fragrances. I put on 2, 3 at a time, and fragrance smells different on everyone, and I don't mind smelling like someone else. If it smells good, I want to smell like it. So I don't care that it's overrated. I don't care that everyone's wearing it. I'm not everyone. So if you like something, wear it. Honestly, I don't recommend buying the big bottle. bottle, it's really hard to get through. So I feel like it starts changing, like it gets less concentrated as time goes on. I just feel like the smaller bottles smell better and you get to go through the bottle easier. But I don't regret having this big bottle because I love this fragrance. Baccarat is a very sweet fragrance. So the Louis Vuitton is more of a fresh floral, where this is a very sweet, edible, sexy fragrance. It smells different on everyone. I love this for date night. I always get compliments when I wear this. It's just one of those that you might not smell on yourself, but other people are smelling it, especially on clothes. She's just that girl. There are so many dupes, which I have a dupe for you, but Baccarat will always be my baby, and I always throw it on when I want to feel like a baddie. Like if I want to feel sexy, chances are I'm wearing Baccarat, whether it's on my coat or on my dress or on my wrist. Baccarat is just that girl, always will be that girl, and I don't care if you think it's played out or I'm basic. I'll be basic with my Baccarat, and there's nothing basic about that price point. She's expensive, but to me, very much worth it. You can share it with your significant other because it's unisex. It's just so sweet and baddie. Next up, we have Le Labo Another 13. Le Labo, I feel like also blew up because of Santal. Everyone and their mama was talking about Santal because of YouTubers talking about Santal, and I owned Santal, but it's just not me. It's a very, very woody, like intense, almost like incense kind of scent. I like it for the home. I just don't like wearing it myself. I used to. I went through a whole bottle, but Another 13, you guys made me get this, and I thank you for it because I love it. It became an instant favorite as well. A lot of people say if you like Baccarat, you're gonna love Another 13, and I would say they are similar in a sense that they're sexy and almost skin-like. It's like a skin-like muskiness of like sweet musky skin. Like I can see why they're so relatable. This one is like an underrated silent killer. It's one of those that you put on, you don't smell it like filling up the room, but when someone goes in for that hug or you break a little bit of a sweat while you're walking wearing this, like it just kind of hits you and you're just like, wow, I smell delicious. Trust me, it's good. And again, I want to thank you guys for putting me on because I didn't know about Another 13 until you guys harassed me in the comments saying I would love this, and you guys were right. I do. I've had this bottle since August and I'm running through her. It's a simple one that you don't have to think about too much. You want to smell sexy but like underrated, like you're not too much of like a in your face kind of fragrance person. If you want something that's a little bit better for like a sensitive nose for the office, if you just want to smell good but not like in your face, this is the one. Next up is a fresh one. I've talked about this one a lot on my channel. This is Creed Silver Mountain Water. A lot of people associate this as a men's fragrance, but let me tell you, it is 100% unisex, and I feel like I wear this so well. Like it just mixes well with my chemistry. It is fresh out the shower Silver Mountain Water. Like the name is the perfect description. It's just so cool. I see mountains and lakes, just water when I smell this. It's so fresh and so clean and makes me feel very, very put together and very fresh. I love to smell fresh. I love soaps. I love body wash. Irish Spring soap. I love that kind of scent. It just makes me feel clean, and Silver Mountain Water is the one for you if you like to smell that clean, like squeaky, squeaky clean. And again, I get tons of compliments when I wear that. I'll even mix that with something sweet and like yummy and edible like Baccarat. I mix those two a lot, and even though they aren't similar at all, they just go together on me. I don't know. I get compliments when I wear them both. If I'm going out to like an event or a date night, or if I know I'm gonna see people and we're gonna be like hugging. Pre-COVID, I will wear those two because I know they're both head turners in two different ways, but then I'm smelling sweet and fresh and sexy and rich. Again, one that you can share with your significant other. So if you need to justify the price that way, do it. Number 5 is very special to me because it was a Christmas gift, and I've been wanting a Bond fragrance, Bond number 9 fragrance, for the longest. If you watch any of my perfume videos, I would always mention not having a Bond and not knowing why. Like I have fragrances that cost more than a Bond fragrance, but I always just felt so overwhelmed going to a Bond counter because there are so many and they all smell so good. But I finally have my first Bond number 9 fragrance and I love her. This is Bond number 9 Madison Square Park. I mean, first of all, the bottle is gorgeous. They no longer make the bottles with the big flower on them. They discontinued that, but having this Bond fragrance is a little dangerous because I already have 2 that I want to get, which is Greenwich Village and Astor Place. I want both of those, and I think New York Nights. But remember my rule, I have to part ways with one before I introduce a new one to my collection. But let's talk about Madison Square Park. Besides being a gorgeous bottle, I would describe this as my innocent, sweet girl perfume. If I just want to smell feminine, but like young and fresh, this is the one. Just like a classic scent. It almost smells like a department store where it's just like not too sweet, not too fresh, not too floral. It just kind of is like an umbrella of everything. It's just everything in one. And it makes me feel very innocent and sweet and shy. It's one of those that just makes me feel not sexy, but just feminine. It makes me feel like me. This is a very fresh Bond fragrance. I heard Greenwich is a good dupe, or it's very similar to Baccarat. It's like a teal, kind of like turquoise bottle. The bottles are gorgeous. Very happy to have a Bond fragrance in my collection. And again, it was a very special gift to me, so had to mention it as my number 5. Now I'm just diving deep into the collection. I'm gonna try to keep the descriptions short and sweet. We have this cutie, which is Chloe. They have a couple of different variations of Chloe, but this is just La Original. I know I said I'll be short and sweet with the descriptions, but funny story about Chloe. One of my cousins who lives in Florida, we were talking about fragrance. He's really into fragrance, and he told me that he buys all of his girlfriends Chloe. That's how much he loves this fragrance on women. He just says it just smells so feminine and so womanly, and he just really loves the scent. So sorry if you're watching this, but if you receive a fragrance Chloe. Let's talk about Chloe real quick. I wear this to bed, and let me just tell you, if you wear this to bed, expect some compliments from your significant other, because she's just that girl. She smells so classic. She's like a regal classic scent. This fragrance makes me want to put on like silk pajamas and go to sleep in a castle. Like, it just smells very regal. Like, I feel like a princess putting it on because of the bottle, and just the fragrance is so like rich and classic, and I can see this being someone's like signature scent. It's not my signature scent, but I love wearing it to bed because it just puts me in a very luxe, calm mood. Like, it just makes me feel like, okay, all of your troubles from today, they're gone. The day is over. Let's go to bed. Let's feel good. Let's do our skincare, and let's put on a really nice fragrance. So this became my bedtime fragrance. Of course, I'll wear it randomly like out, but I really love it to bed. It just does something for me. If you got a boyfriend, husband, girlfriend, boo, expect the compliments if you wear Chloe. Okay. So I talked about Silver Mountain Water, but next up we have 2 more Creed fragrances. Silver Mountain Water is my favorite Creed fresh fragrance, but we also have Creed Aventus for her, and Creed Millesime Imperial. Millesime Imperial. I'm just gonna say Creed Imperial, the super gold, flashy, in-your-face bottle. I mean, the bottle is stunning, gorgeous. Also unisex. Aventus, however, so Aventus for her is obviously not unisex. It's made for her because they do have an Aventus original, which a lot of men wear. Aventus is one of those fragrances that when you smell it, you know it's Aventus. It's that unique. Nothing else smells like Aventus to me personally. Like, it's really hard to dupe this. A lot of these fragrances that I'm gonna mention just are like fresh and floral, and like you can mix them and they all kind of smell similar, like especially the ones from Sephora or like Macy's. But Creed Aventus for her is just a very specific scent. It's one of those scents that you'll never forget. I would say it's a little spicy, a little musky, but not too dark or like incense, or it doesn't smell like something you would spray in your house. It's like a spicy musky that I personally feel like smells like skin. It just smells like date night. It smells very, very rich, and again, it's just one of those that if you know, you know. Like, if you know Aventus, you'll know this. It's giving leather jacket, booties, and I'm out. I'm outside. Aventus for her, so good and so unique. And then we have Imperial, which to me is kind of similar to Silver Mountain Water in a sense that I wear it when I want to smell very clean and very fresh. Again, this one is unisex. I know a lot of men love this fragrance, and I just love it on me. I personally like wearing men's fragrances, but I would consider this unisex because it's very fresh and clean, and to me, fragrance is unisex. But this does smell like men's soap. It smells like a men's body wash mixed with like deodorant, mixed with aftershave. It's like you just hugged a really sexy man and his cologne rubbed off on you when you go home and you smell it, or when you take a man's perfume and like spray it on your pillow or on your jacket so that you can like remember them. I don't know. I definitely pull this off. I love wearing this when I'm going out. I'll even mix it with Silver Mountain water. I'll mix it with anything, to be honest, and it just gives me like a little boost of soapiness because I love, again, the smell of soap. So if you like a super luxe, bougie, rich smelling, clean fragrance, then I would say smell these two and let me know what you think. I feel like Silver Mountain water is a little bit more like classic. It's a little more unisex, where this one is definitely a little bit more on the masculine side. But listen, there are no rules when it comes to fragrance. Wear whatever makes you feel good, period. This is probably my least reached for perfume in my collection, and it might be shocking because it's a lot of people's favorite. This is Maison France's Gentle Fluidity Gold. So the reason why I got this one is I had 2 samples of Maison France's fragrances, and I remember spraying both of them and loving how the combination smelled. So I ended up getting what I thought was those 2 samples, but I kind of figured out that I think the one I'm in love with is Gentle Fluidity Silver. Gentle Fluidity, but I'm pretty sure it was the silver one that I fell in love with, but instead I purchased what I thought was the silver, but ended up getting Aqua Universalis. I gotta go in and smell Gentle Fluidity Silver to confirm that. But I still like this fragrance, but the reason why I don't go for it as often is because it's not really my style. It's a super sweet vanilla scent. It's very creamy and edible. Like, it just smells like you want to like lick your skin. It smells like sugar and vanilla. Very sweet, but that's not really my style. I do like vanilla, and I do have another vanilla fragrance that I feel is more of like a vanilla for me. But this is just like a true sweet vanilla, like a very sugary vanilla. It's nice, it's just not like my ultimate favorite. I do love the bottle, and it's part of my collection, so I'm gonna stick beside her, but it's just not like my most reached for fragrance. YSL Libre. I kind of had a love-hate relationship with this fragrance at one point. I loved the fragrance, and I loved how it smelled, but it would always give me a headache if I put too much of it on. But I feel like that's changed. I don't know what it is, but I've had this fragrance 3 times, and I feel like 3rd time's a charm. Like, I now know how to wear Libre. This is a very intense, it's not the intense version, but it's a very intense fragrance. It's in your face, like what up? Very date night appropriate. I wouldn't wear this in the daytime. Feel free to do so if you wear this in the daytime. Awesome. For me personally, it's a little too strong, but when I want to feel extra badass, I'll throw on Libre. Kind of reminds me of Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. If you're familiar with that one, it's the high heel perfume. That one's very popular. This one I have to wear sparingly. 1 spray and I'm good, because if I do too much of this, it's a little overpowering, but it does smell very sexy. The bottle is gorgeous, different, and it's very sexy and very nighttime. So I only wear this if I'm going out at night. If like I'm wearing heels and I'm all dressed up, I'll do like 1 spritz from far, and I'm telling you that's good enough because it is intense. And a lot of people love this fragrance. I just can't like go all out with it because I am a little bit more sensitive when it comes to fragrances. I've grown to really love her. I just need to use her wisely. So YSL Libre. This next one is probably the most unique fragrance in my collection. It smells very different. It's an acquired scent, but I personally love it. This is Twilly Hermes. It's the ginger. This is another one that I have to wear sparingly. I can't go all out and like drown myself in this fragrance like I can with the Louis Vuitton or the Labo. The top 5 that I mentioned, I feel like I really love because I can get away with overdoing it. Like, I can overspray it and it's not offensive at all. Like, it just layers really well and blends with my skin really well, where this one and like the YSL Libre, they kind of just stand out, so I have to be sparing with it. I cannot drown myself with this because it is a lot. I don't like ginger. Like, if I bite into a piece of ginger, I'm just like, The only thing I like ginger is ginger dressing on my salad, but that's about it. I don't like ginger pieces. I don't really like the smell of ginger. I don't know. I just felt like ginger would be weird for a perfume. It works for this one. So Twilly, ginger, it's so different. I honestly don't know how to describe this. It does have like a floral kick to it because I feel like it's that Twilly is that floralness, but the ginger just makes it fresh. It's clean and floral, but this is definitely acquired. If you want to smell different, try this one out. I got a ton of compliments. The first time I ever wore this, I went to the doctor's office and everyone was like, what are you wearing? Like, I left a trail of this fragrance, so it's definitely like a head turner. The bottle is super cute. If you want to smell different, Twilly ginger. I wouldn't say blindly buy this, but please smell it and let me know what you think because it's just so unique and so different. My latest addition to my fragrance collection is none other than Angel's Share Share by Kilian. When I posted this bottle, you guys went crazy, either because you love it, you own it and you love it, or because you just were fascinated by the bottle because it's supposed to resemble a drink. To me, this is a sexy, very, very sexy, warm apple pie. I know you didn't see it coming. You're like, excuse me? Did you just say apple pie? Yes, I did. Apple pie, and then it turns into like a cinnamon whiskey sexiness. Like, it's just so good on the skin. Baby, this for date nights? Okay. It's giving gobble me, swallow me. Whoa. Also unisex. Men wear this, women wear this. It's just very, very sexy, edible. Again, I smell apples at the forefront. I smell musk and vanilla and a little bit of like a tobacco. Like, something about it is giving me a bar, but in a really, really, really nice way, because some fragrances I've had that smell like a bar are just like a little too intensely cigarette bar, like cigar shop. No, this is more of like an edible bar. Like, this is, you're sitting at the bar, you're eating some chocolates, you have a nice slip dress on, and your date walks in and they give you a hug and a kiss, and it's just like a very sensual moment, all eyes on you. That's what this fragrance does for me. That's what it makes me feel like. It makes me feel like, and it's my latest, but she is great. She is late, but she is great. Angel Share by Kilian. Next up, we have a classic Flowerbomb. How many times am I gonna talk about Flowerbomb? It's never too many times. I love Flowerbomb, especially for the holidays. It's just a perfect gift. Viktor&Rolf Flowerbomb. I mean, it's giving Macy's, it's giving department store. It just smells like all of the good girliness things up in a perfume. And I feel like when you hear Flowerbomb, you're like, oh, it's gonna be too floral, like it's a flower bomb, but it's more sweet than anything. Like, the name is definitely a catfish. For me, this is not floral. To me, this is very, very sweet, like a candy sweet. Like, if you want to smell sweet, innocent, you want to just go shopping, just want to smell innocent, girly, youthful, Macy's, department store, festive, Viktor&Rolf Flowerbomb. Love it. I will never stop owning Flowerbomb. I just feel like it's a classic and it's like a must-have in a collector's collection. Coffee. Next up, we have my most inexpensive fragrance in my collection, and this is Mixbar Vanilla Bourbon Parfum number 9. You can get this at Target, my favorite place, Target. Do not be fooled, baby, by the price point, by where you bought it at, because she is delicious. I would consider this, I mean, it's a parfum, but for me, it's just more like a body splash, like a body spray that I just wear after the shower, to bed. I'll spray this on my bed, like on my linens, on my towel. Like, I just love to smell this in the room. So this is Vanilla Bourbon. I have another one of these fragrances in my bathroom. I'm kind of cheating because I have 2 fragrances in my bathroom that just stay in the bathroom for, you know, just spraying and emergencies if I don't want to go get my perfume and I'm in the bathroom. But this is Vanilla Bourbon, and it smells exactly like the name suggests, Vanilla Bourbon. It's musky, but it's also sweet. So it's edible, but it has a little bit of muskiness to it. She is amazing for that price point. If you want to smell really delicious, but you're on a budget, if you want to smell like a vanilla cotton candy ball with a little drizzle of like an alcoholic bev right in the middle, this is for you. Again, the price is right. You can get it at Target, which we all know we're addicted to, so might as well, while you're there, smell Vanilla Bourbon. I want to smell more of these Mixbar perfumes. They're meant to be mixed, so you can get a couple of their fragrances and mix them, and they will all just kind of like blend in together, which I love that idea because I love to mix my perfumes. So Mixbar Vanilla Bourbon number 9, really, really, really yummy. We have this cutie by Kayali. I own 2 Kayali fragrances. This one is Utopia Vanilla Coco number 21. It almost smells like Barbies. No, it smells like my childhood, and I don't know what about it makes it nostalgic for me. Barbie shoes, I don't know, it's super random, or like lipstick. It just smells so creamy. Like, this is creamy in a bottle. If you like creamy, creamy, creamy fragrances, this is the one. It has that coconut and that vanilla, so it's sweet and not too summery, because when you think of coconut, you can think like, oh, beach time fragrance. You can definitely wear this in the summer, but it just smells like a creamy coconut. Coconut and vanilla swirled in a big jar, like in liquid form. That's what this smells like. So Kayali Utopia, so delicious. I love this one because it really lasts so long on the skin and it plays well with others. Of course, Kayali packaging, so cute, so girly, love it. This next one's kind of not cheating, but it's actually a hair perfume. This is the Lancome. I always get butchered for this one. La Vie Belle. You know which one it is, but this is the hair perfume. She's yummy and she smells again like Macy's. If I had to describe the smell of Macy's, just two fragrances in Macy's that stand out the most to me, it's the Lancome La Vie et Belle and Flowerbomb by Viktor&Rolf. Those two fragrances I feel like can just take over all of Macy's, and that's what it smells like. The whole perfume section smells like this one and that one. I love a hair perfume because it's meant to be used on your hair, so you're not like drying it out, and it just smells really good. And this one actually mixes well with like that dirty hair smell. Like some hair perfumes, cough cough, the Jisoo one, personally I don't like that one. That one just mixes so weirdly for me with like scalp smell. Like it just doesn't do what it needs to do. It just smells so synthetic, where this actually smells like perfume, but it's for your hair. So Lancome La Vie et Belle hair perfume. I've had this one for a minute. I'm surprised it's still here. This is Chance by Chanel, and this is the Vive. And from the Chance perfumes, this one is the most me. I do like the green one as well. That one is kind of like unisex. One and the green Chance are the freshest ones in my opinion. They're not like the super typical Chanel fragrance smell, like that super feminine department store kind of smell. This one might be the next bottle that I try to finish because I think it's expired. It smells a little off, but I still get compliments on it, and I wear this one to bed. It's just like a clean, fresh scent. Like that's all I'm gonna say about it. It's clean, it's fresh, it's nice. It's not like my absolute favorite. She's cute. She's cute. This next one though, you guys love. This is Valentino Born in Roma. The bottle is so badass. It's so like rock star and like chic. It's sexy, sweet, and unique. It's very feminine but very sexy, and it just feels very like rock star. Like it just feels, again, like you want to throw on your leather jacket and just like conquer the world. Like you just feel that girl wearing this. I like to wear this at night because for me it's more of a sexy fragrance, but I know a lot of people just love this as their signature scent, like their only perfume. I have seen so many people post this fragrance time and time again, like repurchasing it because it's just their favorite. Reminds me of Libre by YSL and Carolina Herrera Good Girl. It's in that same category of sexy, badass, I'm gonna go kill the game, I'm walking through, all eyes on me vibes. Valentino Born in Roma. Every single time, without fail, that I post my collection, I get a question about this fragrance, specifically the bottle. I think a lot of people are just so attracted to the bottle. The bottle is gorgeous, and I feel like that's probably why I kept it so long. It's not my absolute favorite. It's a lot of people's absolute favorite. I bought it because I was influenced. I spent a lot of money on it, so I kept it, but I still have a lot of it left, which is shocking for me because typically when I spend this much money on a fragrance, I'm usually like halfway through the bottle. It's none other than Delina by Parfums de Marly. Everyone loves this bottle. I always get asked, especially on Instagram, what's that light pink bottle right there in the back? Because you guys just like love this packaging, and I get it. It's different and it's really pretty. At one point I loved this fragrance, or I was convinced that I loved it, and I think it's just because of the hype and because of the bottle and the price point, but it's just not me. I went to the counter and I fell in love with the rose version of it, which is so shocking because I'm just not a rose fragrance type of person, but I do love the rose one, and I'm probably gonna end up getting that one. It's actually like fresher than this one in my opinion. It's just more wearable. I don't even know how to describe it other than in your face, sweet, but it almost smells like synthetic. Like there's something artificial about this fragrance. And again, so many people love this. I probably broke some hearts because again, a lot of people love this. I broke my own heart not loving this, and it's just like I want to love it but I just don't. Giorgio Armani C Passion. When I first started my channel, when I first started getting into fragrance, C, the original C, was one of my favorites for so long. It was one of my, I think, first fragrances. Like my first official fragrances was Giorgio Armani C. I had a couple of different versions of it, but C Passion I feel like I keep repurchasing because it just smells like that soapy freshness that I love. The bottle almost looks like it's gonna smell tropical for some reason to me, like this shade of red and like the shape of it, but it's just very summer fresh to me. I like wearing C Passion to the gym. Like if I'm gonna go work out, it's just one of those you could just throw on and you smell good. You don't want to like waste your really good stuff, but you're still gonna smell fresh and clean because that's typically what I like to smell like. I wanted this baby for so long and I finally have her, and I'm very happy with her. This is Tom Ford Lost Cherry. So I ended up getting Bitter Peach and Lost Cherry. I just couldn't with Bitter Peach. It has a little bit of patchouli and that muskiness, and it's very peachy. But out of the two, I prefer Lost Cherry. Like if I had to choose between smelling like cherries and peaches, baby, I'ma choose cherries. It's giving naughty, but it's also giving like holiday. It's giving December. She's good, but she's bad. It's just very sensual. I just feel like cherry does that for me, and I love the bottle. I put this one on when I want to smell like I'm up to no good. Tom Ford Lost Cherry. We got cherry, and now we got apple. This is Kayali's newest fragrance. This is Eden Juicy Apple. I love the smell of apples, especially in like candles and diffusers and like home fragrance. I love apple because it's just, you guessed it, fresh and clean. This kind of smells like something you could get at Bath & Body Works. I'm not gonna lie. It's like body splash in a beautiful bottle. It's very, very, very youthful, fresh, innocent, quirky, fun, happy, bright, uplifting. I mean, you know, you're thinking of juicy apples, you're thinking of like good times, like fun times. It's not like mysterious. If I want to smell crispy and fresh, sound weird, but almost like wet, like a juicy apple. Kayali Eden Juicy Apple. I haven't had this one for too long, but I do love her and she's here to stay. So Kayali Eden. This one is also new to my collection. This is Giorgio Armani My Way. So I have the original My Way, and then I also have the intense version. Armani actually sent these to me, but I've always wanted to own these. Every time I would go into Sephora, I would smell this and I'm like, do I want to get it? Is it me? And now that I have it, I do really enjoy it. Very sweet and edible, and just very youthful and playful and juicy. Not like a juicy apple, but like a bowl of juicy fruits. It's fruity. That's the word I was looking for. It's fresh and fruity, which I also love fruity. I just feel playful when I wear fruity scents like this, and it's just one of those that you can just throw on for every day. You don't know what you want to wear. You throw on Giorgio Armani My Way, and it's good. Very like age appropriate. You can definitely gift this to someone in high school, college. I'm in neither of those anymore. It almost smells like hair product, like curly hair product. Very like wet and fresh. That's Giorgio Armani My Way for me. And this next one is going to break hearts. They no longer make it. It's been discontinued, and it's been a favorite of mine for years and years and years. Balenciaga Florabotanica. I'm sorry, I still own a bottle. This is my last bottle of this fragrance, so I am using her wisely because she's nowhere to be found. You can find it online, like on some random websites that are like sketchy. I always say this, it reminds me of Soho, it reminds me of fashion, it reminds me of like, for some reason, Lady Gaga. I don't know why, like I feel like she would smell like this because it's so different, so unique. It's musky and it's just very, very sexy and like bold. This is a very bold fragrance. It's not one that you're just gonna like throw on and it is what it is. It's different and very rock star to me, and I really hope they bring this back. Balenciaga Florabotanica, an oldie but a goodie and a saddie because we can't get her anymore. So Florabotanica by Balenciaga. It is in my collection, so I had to mention it. Sorry. We are officially on to the second tray. So we're pretty much at the halfway mark and the sun is completely gone. So again, I'm sorry that the lighting changed, but we're just gonna keep on with it. I briefly mentioned this one before. This is the Maison Francis Aqua Perfume, Aqua Universalis. So I mentioned that I smelled something that I really liked when I mixed two Maison Francis samples, and I thought it was Gentle Fluidity Gold and this one, but I don't reach for this too often. Off initial spray, I love it. It's fresh and clean, you know, my type of scent, like soapy and fresh, but there's something in it that just throws me a little bit off. Something that's a little too green. It almost has like a vegetable feeling to it. You know how with cilantro, you either love it or hate it? That's how I feel about this. Like at first I'm like, oh, it's nice, but then there's just something about it that's just off. So I'm sure many people love this because it is so fresh and so clean, but there's just something about it, and I really want to figure out what note it is that just like bothers me, that it almost smells like something from the supermarket, like a vegetable or like a spice or like an herb or something that it has in it that just like throws me off a little bit. I don't reach for that one too often, which really sucks because it is an expensive perfume. But this next one I got for the summertime. This is Tom Ford Soleil Neige. It's this really gorgeous white bottle. This to me is like a unique vacation fragrance. It's very sunny and like bright, uplifting, but I wouldn't really wear this in the winter. I don't say this about a lot of fragrances where like I pinpoint it to a season where it's like, oh, I really like this just for the summer, but this is one of the exceptions. It's like a beachy fragrance without it being a generic beachy fragrance. So it's not like your typical sunscreen kind of scent. When you think of beach, you think of coconut, but this one's more of like a fresh beachy scent. It just reminds me of like like a boardwalk or like the beach. So this is Tom Ford Soleil Neige. Next up, I have two fragrances by Jo Malone. So this one is English Pear and Freesia, and then we have Poppy and Barley, which I don't hear a lot of people talking about. This one I do. English Pear and Freesia, I feel like is one of their most popular scents. It's kind of like a go-to for so many people. And the biggest like gripe that people have with Jo Malone, which was something that I kind of thought too, was that it doesn't last long on the skin. They smell delicious. They smell very direct. Whatever the name is exactly what it smells like, and which I like because there's no like guessing game when it comes to Jo Malone. But the fact that so many people can agree that they don't last as long as other fragrances on the skin made me not ever want to stick to a Jo Malone fragrance. But I find that if you mix Jo Malone fragrances, whether it's two Jo Malone fragrances or the hand soap and the fragrance, or Jo Malone and something completely different, it lasts longer. So I do love the Jo Malone diffusers and hand soaps, body cream. Like I just love their whole line besides just the fragrance. So I feel like if you layer it, that definitely helps. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the reason why these don't last as long is because they're not parfums, they're colognes, which I think has something to do with the reason why they don't last as long. I don't know, but I do like the way these smell. English Pear and Freesia, I love pears. I love eating them. I love pear scented things. It's just very, very juicy, fresh, and fruity for me. And the fact that it's fruity and floral because it's pear and freesia, it just smells like a fruit garden. You're in a fresh garden, but you're also eating fresh fruits, and I think that is so beautiful. This just reminds me of like a beautiful Sunday afternoon. It's just very like calming and pleasant, quiet. For some reason, this just reminds me of like a quiet fragrance. It also makes me feel like a princess when I wear this. I don't know if it's the bottle that does it for me, but I also have this in the diffuser, so my living room smells like this. And I also have the hand soap, which is really, really nice. Their hand soaps are amazing. The scent actually lasts on your skin. They are a little bit drying, but I feel like it's so worth it because your hands always smell delicious. So this is English Pear and Freesia. And then this one, my girl Stephanie at Sephora, she is my favorite. She put me onto this. She always puts me onto fragrances. Even though we do have a little bit of like a different taste in fragrances, we do have some similarities. So she'll know when I'll like something. So she put me onto Poppy and Barley. And again, I've never heard anyone talk about Poppy and Barley. And when you think of barley, like, I don't know, what do you think of? For some reason, when I hear barley, I think of barnacles, and it reminds me of SpongeBob. I don't know. Why am I like this? I don't know why I am the way that I am, but that's what I think of. But I kind of just focus on the Poppy. This fragrance is just very happy and very, again, uplifting. It's also just very like princess-like. Smells like a shampoo. It smells clean, fresh. It's a fusion between like a really fresh, nice, fruity, juicy smelling shampoo and a soap. So it's fruity and fresh, very, very daytime appropriate. This is perfect for like the office, for work, for school. It's just very, very classic, non-offensive, and it just smells good. Poppy and Barley. I never hear anyone talking about this one, but it is really, really good. I actually like this one more than I like English Pear and Freesia, and I also have the hand soap to this fragrance, which I also love. So Poppy and Barley by Jo Malone. Next up are these two by Clean Reserve. So the brand is called Clean. So we have Radiant Nectar and Solar Bloom. Radiant Nectar is a floral musk, and Solar Bloom is a radiant floral. I actually like Solar Bloom more than I like Radiant Nectar, but I was introduced to this brand with Radiant Nectar. A musky floral is typically something that I go for, but something about it just smells off. It's something like the Maison Francis Aqua perfume. It's just like one note in it that's just throwing me off, and I hate when that happens because I don't know exactly what it is. I can't pinpoint it, but something about this has like a, not a grass smell, but I love Radiant Nectar. I once loved Radiant Nectar, but now that I'm smelling it, I just feel like I'm past it. But Solar Bloom, however, is so delicious. This one is creamy. This is kind of like the Utopia Vanilla Coco from Kayali. It's that creamy creaminess. I don't know why creamy fragrances just bring back memories, not specific memories, but just like my childhood. I can picture this being in like a big pot and you're just like swirling this fragrance around, and it's white and creamy. It's gonna sound crazy because it doesn't smell like that, but you know the Lifesavers, or I think they're called, are they Lifesavers? They're the candies that are like white and pink and they have the swirl. You know when you're eating one of those, if you've ever had one of those candies, it's like a creamy taste. It's like milky. Like this isn't like milk. It's not milky because it's like fresh, but it's creamy. I'm at the point of the video where I don't even know what I'm saying, but it's creamy, it's floral, and it's also a happy fragrance. If you have a very sensitive nose or very sensitive skin, check out this brand because it is Clean. Those are my two fragrances by Clean. Next I have the sister or the brother to the Valentino Born in Roma. This is the Yellow Dream. And I say brother, not sister, because there's just something about this that makes it feel unisex. I don't think this is marketed as unisex. They have a Valentino yellow fragrance for men. There's a hint of a men's fragrance in here. It's that muskiness that's just like borderline men's fragrance. And I really love that. I know I'm not the only one that likes to wear like men's cologne. Very similar to Carolina Herrera Good Girl, except it's not as intense as that. Like Good Girl can almost smell like trying too hard in my opinion. Like this is a better version to me of Carolina Herrera Good Girl. Because I feel like Carolina Herrera Good Girl makes me feel like, I don't have it anymore, but it makes me feel like back in the day when I was younger and I was trying to smell older. It just smells a little bit too, trying too hard for me, where this is just more of like a subtle sexy. In my humble opinion, don't kill me, but I prefer this one, and it's just like a good date night, sexy, put on your heels and kill it kind of vibe. I don't wear this in the daytime because it is kind of intense. It's musky and it's intense, and it just makes me feel badass. So Valentino Yellow Dream. This one's gonna be a little challenging to describe. This is Eccentric Molecules Eccentric 01. This fragrance is an ingredient, or a couple of ingredients. It's supposed to bring out other fragrances. So it has a scent. It's like a musky, skin-like, leaning more masculine in my opinion, but there's just something about mixing eccentric molecules with other fragrances that just makes it intoxicatingly good and makes it last longer. So this is a layering fragrance for me. If I'm gonna be out all night and I really want my fragrance to last, I'll do a couple spritz of Eccentric Molecule 01 and then the fragrance that I'm wearing that night. And there's just something about it that just mixes and just like brings it out. Don't come for me because I don't know the science behind it, but I just know that that's what it's meant to do, and it does that. This Ambroxan Sorcery Buds Eccentric 01, I got it because in the fragrance world this is always talked about, and I wanted to know, does it really do that? Is it really going to make my other fragrances last longer or smell better or smell different? I don't wear this alone, but I wear it as a layering. It's my layer 1 to my fragrance concoction. If I'm wearing 2 fragrances, I'll like blend it in with this one in between or before. I have it, why not use it? And it doesn't smell offensive, but when you mix it with whatever else you're going to wear, it just brings it out. This next one almost made it to my top 5 because I love her. This is Replica by Maison Margiela Bubble Bath. I love bubble bath. I mean, I love bubble baths, but I love Maison Margiela Bubble Bath. This smells so different. It's fresh, but it's different. A lot of my fragrances are fresh, but this is a different kind of fresh. This is straight out of a bubble bath fresh. She's musky, feminine, and clean and bubbly. It's like a luxury bubble bath. Love putting this on after I get out the shower. I also love wearing this to bed. I definitely want to get a few more replica fragrances. I'm eyeing, I think it's called When the Rain Stops. There's one that smells like lipstick. I think it's called Lipstick On. I do not like By the Fireplace. I don't like the woodsy, musky scents by Replica. Like, I don't like those. Autumn Vibes is also really strong if you're into like those super autumn vibes. But Lazy Sunday Morning and When the Rain Stops are on my wish list. They're just more me than like the By the Fireplace kind of fragrances. But yes, a bubble bath, she's that girl. Love, love, love. We've made our way to Giorgio Armani My Way Intense. You know how sometimes the fragrance will come out in an intense version and it smells completely different? This one is like in the middle of that. It doesn't smell exactly like My Way because it has more of like an orange kick to it. It's definitely like My Way plus orange to me, but it also is an intense version of My Way, just with like an extra added bonus or kick of like orange slash citrus. I personally like My Way more on me, but I just got this one, so I'm still learning it. I'm still kind of playing around with My Way Intense and My Way, to be honest, because I literally just got them. But she's sweet and floral and citrusy. There's like that citrus kick in the My Way Intense, so if you like a little kick of orange, if you like that like zestiness, definitely gonna love this because it's very feminine but also has that like fruitiness to it. It's like a floral, sweet citrus fragrance. So this is Giorgio Armani My Way Intense. This next one I fell in love with at Sephora. I was spraying different things on, and usually I'll sit on something, like I'll spray it, I'll walk away. I won't purchase right away at Sephora. I'll let it like sit on my clothes or on my wrist and I'll think about it. But this one I bought on the spot. This is Floral Street Arizona Bloom. I love the bottle. It's like cheesy but cute because it's like clear, and all of the bottles have like a background to it, which I think is different and definitely stands out in your collection. This is another that I would throw in the category category of creamy. There's just something so creamy about this and soft and sensual. I feel like when I smell this, I'm sitting in the desert with like a white dress on, or like I'm passing by like in a convertible. The hair is blowing in the wind. It's hot, but it's not too hot. It's not humid, it's dry. Obviously it's a desert. And you're wearing this creamy like coconut smell, and it's just mixing with the heat, and it's just like getting better and better as like the day goes on, and like your natural oils mix with it. Like that's what this brings me to. I mean, it's supposed to smell like what Arizona smells like. I've never been to Arizona, but it reminds me of Arizona. So yeah, I mean, perfect for springtime, for summer. This one, the Clean Reserve and the Kayali, are all in this group of like creaminess. And I'm here for the creamy vibes. So again, Floral Street, Arizona Bloom. We've made it to the infamous Baccarat dupe. And I say infamous because this is like a huge ongoing debate in the fragrance community. Some people say it smells just like Baccarat. Other people say it smells nothing like Baccarat. I'm in the category of saying that it does smell like Baccarat. This Ariana Grande Cloud is a dupe for Baccarat. It doesn't smell exactly like it. Price point wise, you can't compare, but the overall family, the overall general scent of it though is very similar to my nose. Again, you can completely disagree, but especially when you get a fresh bottle of Cloud and a fresh bottle of Baccarat and you compare them, they're similar. Baccarat is like, what, 4 or 5 times the price of Ariana Grande Cloud. Ariana Grande Cloud actually to me even lasts longer on the skin, even though it's so much cheaper. It lasts longer some way, somehow. And I know a lot of people wear Ariana Grande Cloud and people will go up to them and ask them if they're wearing Baccarat. Also, Burberry Her is a dupe to Baccarat. I mean, I've actually had like Baccarat dupes from like brands that they sell online, but something about Cloud just reminds me the most of Maison Francis Baccarat. So if you haven't tried this, smell it the next time you're at Ulta. To me, it's a great way to wear the scent of Baccarat for a lot cheaper. Like even if you own Baccarat, you can still own Cloud and wear this more for like daily wear if you don't want to waste your Baccarat, or if you feel like you would never ever justify the price of Baccarat. This is a good way to have that same fragrance vibe, that same fragrance family for a lot less. So Ariana Grande Cloud, I haven't tried any of her other fragrances. I do want to try, I think it's the pink one. I remember smelling it at Ulta and liking it, but I was also just so overwhelmed with the fragrances that I put on. Let me know if you guys like her other fragrances and what you guys think about Cloud. Because to me, it's a certified dupe. We've got Versace Dylan Blue Turquoise. I also really love this one. This one and Bubble Bath, I feel like I go for a lot. I didn't mention them in the top 5, but I do go for them and reach for them a lot. This one reminds me of my aunt that always smells good. My Colombian aunt. If you know, you know. If you watched any of my perfume videos, a lot of my fragrances, I just remember her always smelling good. Like growing up until this day, she smells amazing. She's a Scorpio, she's Colombian, and she just always smells delicious, and this reminds me of her so much. Something that she wears is very similar to this. I do prefer the turquoise now to the regular Dylan Blue, which is more of like a fresh, clean, soapy fragrance. This one gives me Miami. It feels like I'm in Miami. It smells like a hotel lobby in Miami, like sexy and like lusty, and like you're going to the Versace mansion to have dinner. I've never even been to the Versace mansion to have dinner, but this is like something that I feel like it would smell like. It just smells like Vegas and Miami. It just smells like bad decisions. Sexy, up to no good. Versace Dylan Blue Turquoise. I feel like this next one throws people off because of the name. Juliette Has a Gun Pear. Juliette Has a Gun, Not a Perfume has been a favorite of mine for many years. If you are sensitive to fragrances, if you work in an office, you work in a hospital, you still want to wear fragrance, but you're allergic to fragrances, they make you nauseous, they give you a headache, they give other people headaches around you, try Not a Perfume by Juliette Has a Gun. I don't have it right now. I love it, but Pear to me is very similar, but maybe even better. When I first smelled Pear, I knew I had to have it. It is so me. As you can see, I love fruity fragrances. We have Tom Ford Lost Cherry, we have Kayali Apple, and now we have Juliette Has a Gun Pear. And Juliette Has a Gun Pear, again, is like Not a Perfume. If you like Not a Perfume, then you would love this, with a little extra kick of fruitiness, because Not a Perfume doesn't really smell like anything but like skin and clean soapiness. But Pear does have a little bit of that fruitiness. It doesn't smell too young or generic. It's not like a fruity in a sense where it smells like body splash. It smells like a mature, fruity fragrance that is, again, not offensive. And the mist on Juliette Has a Gun perfumes, it's nice. it's nice. It just feels very even and soft. Even the way it sprays is not offensive. Like, it's not one of those that's like squirt and it's just gonna leave like an oily spot on your neck. It's not that. It's definitely more of like a mist. Love this one, and I always feel very fresh, clean, and professional when I wear Juliette Has the Gun Pear. I always have to have MAC Turquoise in my collection. Whether it's MAC Turquoise or MAC Candy Yum Yum, I just always have to have one of them in my collection. I actually have one of these in my bathroom. So I have one here in my collection and one in my bathroom. If you've ever walked into a MAC store, all of the employees look so good. Like, shout out to you if you work at MAC or if you've worked at MAC. I just feel like once you work at MAC, you don't go back. Like, you're just poppin', fly, outfits always on point, makeup always on point, the 9, like the whole 9. MAC employees just get it. And if you don't get it, by the time you leave working at MAC, you're gonna get it. And I feel like they all smell like MAC Turquoise. It just reminds me of the employees at MAC. It reminds me of the store. It's what MAC smells like. If you're not into MAC cosmetics and you're like, what are you talking about? Like, why would I want to smell like a cosmetic? No, it doesn't smell like makeup. It just smells like MAC. So if you know MAC, you know Turquoise. It's that classic MAC scent. So good. I love it after the shower, when I'm in the bathroom in the morning. I just want to get like a little spruce, a little pick me up. MAC Turquoise. The price is really, really nice. It's just a classic. Like I said, I always have to have a MAC fragrance in my collection, whether it's this one or MAC Candy Yum Yum, which is really, really good too. It's like the bright pink. It looks just like this, but it's pink and black. Candy Yum Yum and Turquoise are my babies. Always gonna have it unless they discontinue it, which I hope they never do, because if you want to think of MAC, here she is, Turquoise. Love, love, love. Down to the last 3. I never thought I would see the day. This is the 7 Virtues Vanilla Woods. So I mentioned earlier there's a vanilla fragrance that I like more than Gentle Fluidity Gold, which is a vanilla scent. But the reason why I like this one, Vanilla Woods, more is because it's woodsy. So it's not just vanilla, because vanilla get a little boring for me. I needed to have a little bit of something else. This one has just a touch of that muskiness that makes it different. I can't spray this one directly on my neck, like on my chest, because it does have essential oils and I'm very sensitive to essential oils. So I do spray this like on my clothes, on my wrists, because it's not oily. Like, you're not gonna be super oily, but just a little bit, which I feel like is a good thing, because if you want your fragrance to last, you know that oil plays a huge part in fragrance lasting. A fragrance oil lasts so much longer than just a fragrance. So it is a little bit oily, and it says you can even use it to alleviate stress. It's calming and soothing the overworked. It doesn't feel like a body splash vanilla fragrance. It's like a mature vanilla because it has that little woodsy kick to it, and I really love this. But again, I can't spray it like directly on me because I noticed lately it's been burning just a little bit. Like, it never happened before, but more recently I feel like I can't use some of my perfumes on my neck. I guess I'm just becoming more and more sensitive because I do wear a lot of perfume. So now I just kind of spray it like over my head or on my clothes, on my wrists, as opposed to just like directly on my neck, which I feel like might not be good for us anyway. But I do love this Vanilla Woods by the 7 Virtues. Next we have an OG YSL Black Opium. This is the extreme version. I have this little mini bottle. YSL actually sent this to me. I am not crazy about Black Opium anymore. I used to be. It was like one of my all-time favorites. I used to rave about it over and over again, but I just kind of got over it just from wearing it for so long. It's very, very sweet, like extremely sweet, almost like in a candy way, like a sugar way. It's just one of those that always makes it back into my collection. So Black Opium by YSL. Again, this is the extreme version, so maybe that's why it's just like a little bit extra sweet than what I remember Black Opium smelling like. I do prefer this one to the Black Opium Neon, which has more of an orange citrus kick to it. I do just want like the original Black Opium. I feel like that might work better for me than this extreme one. I think I counted 40 fragrances, but last but not least, we've made it to the very end. This is Tom Ford Effing Fabulous. It actually says the word. I'm not gonna lie, I was intrigued by the name, the bottle. I definitely want to get it in a candle, and at first I just wanted to get it because of the bottle, but it actually smells so good. It's so unique. I have nothing in my collection that smells anything like this. This smells like Dubai to me, like an oud. It just smells very, very, very rich. I feel like I can't smell this and not put it on. Like, it's a very addicting fragrance, and it's just something about it that makes you want to like bring it in. Like, it's very alluring, very sexy. This fragrance makes me want to like smoke out my lower lash line and do like a very sexy like cat eye, very black, smoldering eyes, put on a leather jacket, a sexy dress under, and just go dancing. Like, I don't know what it is. This fragrance makes me want to go out. It's just so good. Like, you want other people to smell you. That's how sexy it is. Tom Ford, effing fabulous. The bottle, honestly, she's an icon. Also, unisex, smells really, really good on men. This one is giving luxury, and it's also giving like rebel. Like a rebel, a luxurious rebel. Tom Ford, effing fabulous. Guys, we did it. We made it to the end. I don't want to smell perfume until tomorrow. Because my nose, even with the coffee beans, is like, girl, please make it stop. I don't know if I'm hungry, nauseous, lightheaded, I'm not even sure. But we made it. And the reason why I didn't go over notes was because this video is already so long. So imagine if I would have gave you like the official description and the notes. Like, it would have just been so overwhelming. Let me know if you have any ideas as far as like other perfume videos that you want to see. Anytime I get a new perfume, Instagram sees it first. So make sure you're following me on Instagram at Beauty by Rosita. I have some perfume highlights if you're interested in fragrance. I'm trying to follow my own rule. If you get a new perfume, one perfume has to go. As of right now, I'm not getting any new fragrances, but I might. As you can tell, I'm definitely addicted to fragrance. I love purchasing fragrance. I love smelling good. It's honestly the best compliment to me. The best compliments to me is your house smells good, you smell good. Honestly, there's no better feeling. So that concludes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.